By that, I mean you're conscious of what's going on in your mind. And as you do that, you're making adjustments by changing your internal reference point to beliefs that work for you instead of against you. You're actually making a perceptual energy shift. This perceptual energy shift is very important because when you clear up your unworkable internal memories and representations, you become energetically magnetic. If you've listened to any of my audio programs or read any of my other books, you know that much of what I teach is based on quantum physics. If you don't quite understand it, here's a short recap. We live in a world that appears to be solid, but the seemingly solid nature is really an illusion. The illusion is created by the unique combination of quantum physics and our thought paradigms. What appears to be solid is mostly air. This illusion is hung together perfectly by a bunch of atomic particles vibrating and zooming together. So everything in the world, including your body and the chair you're sitting in, is mostly space, but we perceive it as solid. Vibration is the key element in keeping the illusion in place and making it appear as solid. The subatomic particle of the atom moves and vibrates so quickly that we don't see the space in between. Everything on the planet comes together because of specific energy forces. There has to be a vibrational alignment for things to be attracted to each other. If there's not a vibrational alignment, then the atoms and everything else on the planet actually repel each other. Now, because we're constructed entirely of atoms and molecules, the rules that apply to atomic behavior also apply directly to us as humans. You and I exist at a baseline vibrational frequency that we'll call our natural state. As human beings, we're hardwired energetically to feel good, which allows us to have good health, abundance, and fulfilling relationships. The problem we face is our internal representations. And here's why this is important. Our internal representations, or how we view ourselves in the world, affect our baseline vibrational frequency, either raising it or lowering it. In short, your emotional state, your thinking, and your perception of life determines your vibrational frequency. So what's happening all the time is your baseline vibrational frequency is attracting experiences, people, and circumstances that are aligned with your frequency. When you change your perception, it changes your beliefs, which then changes your emotional state, which changes your baseline vibrational frequency. When these shifts happen, it changes everything that you attract in your life from the quantum field. This quantum field is also called the matrix. Some people refer to this field as the divine matrix, meaning not only is it an invisible energy field, but it's equivalent to what many people call God or divine intelligence. Invisible forces, whether you use a physics context, the field, the matrix, or you use a spiritual context, represent the same thing. Now, all of this creates a positive feedback loop, because the more you shift or change your perceptions, beliefs, and emotional state, the more of the things that you want are attracted in your life, which reinforces your perception, belief, and emotional state, and things just keep getting better and better. This is also why when something goes wrong in your life that creates a lot of emotional turmoil, it seems like everything else starts to go wrong at the same time. And the reason for this is you're in a feedback loop. As you neurotap and you change your internal representations and your beliefs, you line up your baseline vibrational frequency with what you want. You then radiate a matched energy with your desire, and then you magnetize or you attract conditions that line up with your baseline vibrational frequency. The important point to understand is that your emotional state, created by your perceptions, thoughts, and beliefs, create your baseline vibrational frequency. When you feel good, you radiate a higher vibration. When you feel bad, you radiate a lower vibration. So the better you feel, the better circumstances you attract. If you want to magnetize what you focus on, you have to first have a vibration or a frequency that's in alignment with what you want. And all of this is a totally natural process that happens all the time, even when you're not conscious of it. So what I'm leading you to is this. Everything in your life right now is energetically resonant with the vibrations that you're holding. The key to living a happy, stress-free life and attracting whatever you desire with ease is to control your baseline vibrational frequency and deliberately maintain or even raise your frequency. The more you learn how to master your baseline vibrational frequency, the more control you have over your life. Your goal is to make everything in your life congruent, mentally, emotionally, and physically. No matter how challenging certain aspects of your life may seem right now, you have the ability to turn it around. Your whole life is really a movie generated by you, and you are the movie director. In spite of the chaos that we sometimes feel, we really do live in an ordered universe. I like to use the analogy of a Persian rug. If you've ever turned over a Persian rug, you can see that the other side is a real mess. It's total chaos. There are threads hanging out everywhere. But when you turn it over, everything is perfectly aligned and the rug is beautiful. Our lives are that way too. Sometimes there's going to be chaos. And there will always be cycles of ebb and flow, and not always in an equal amount. But you have to get out of the idea that you're stuck by your past or your present if you want to move on. I've said many times there are no victims, only volunteers. But like it or not, it's true. Okay, something happened. We're not denying that. But you don't have to be a victim. That part's a choice. In other words, you can't change the past. But you can change how you feel about it. You can change your internal representation. If you don't, your victimization will become your story. Your story is a script or a patterned way of telling others what happened to you. But until you let go of your story and you forgive everyone involved, including yourself, you'll continue to be stuck and you'll continue to believe you're a victim. But here's an undeniable truth. You cannot be happy and be a victim simultaneously. You can choose one or the other, but not both. Also, if you no longer allow yourself to assume the role of a victim, you won't be attracted by the experience of being a victim again. We run into trouble when we start to judge and quantify our painful experiences. You have to look at these experiences as really powerful turning points. They're not about suffering or declaring that we're a victim. The past or any situation or experience only feels painful and negative when you judge it or quantify it. Everything that happens to us is simply a matter of our growth and our evolution. No matter what happens to you, you're learning something new about yourself. Another way to look at this is that setbacks are your authentic self or your being trying to help you catch up with your destiny and your dreams. It only becomes problematic when you evaluate your setbacks and you determine them as bad. When it feels bad, you only have two choices. You either take on the victim role or try to avoid it, or you embrace it, and you think about what it's trying to tell you and lead you to, and then you make it work in your favor. Think about this. If you're focusing on a situation that's painful, frustrating, or keeping you in a place where you feel stuck, and you're deeply focused on those feelings, what are you creating more of? You're creating more of the very thing that you don't want. Like it or not, life will do what it does. And sometimes it throws a curveball at us, like an illness or a death that we didn't expect. And sometimes it's going to make us feel angry or stuck or in despair. But all these experiences can do either one of two things. They can either take us down, or they can help us to clarify what we want in the future. So if you're in the middle of a situation that's causing you unhappiness, the key is to move out of it by allowing it to point out to you what you really want for yourself. Allow it to point out to you what will make you happy. Keep in mind, we're hardwired to feel good and feel happy. Being stuck in negative trances can only take you farther from your natural state of happiness. Happiness is the baseline frequency of your vibrational wave. The happier you feel, the faster your vibration, and the more you attract experiences that match your vibration. And also, the faster your vibration, the less time you spend experiencing the normal ups and downs that come with slower vibrational frequencies. When your vibration is low, you lower your baseline vibrational frequency from happiness to frustration and then to depressing yourself. This is when you feel stuck because things don't seem to be changing the way you want them to. Raising your vibrational frequency requires deliberate thinking and paying attention to your emotional state. You need to be consistent in monitoring this because in order to expand and grow, you have to line up your vibration with the reality that you choose to live. So you have to clear out the memories, thoughts, internal representations, and beliefs that are moving you away from what you want and replace them with the ones that move you towards what you want. True freedom comes from removing and replacing these negative trances and taking control of your mind. Some people think you can't. But if you cannot control your mind, what the heck can you control? However, the truth is, this is the one thing that we do have control over. The nice thing about the neurotap is when you change your internal representation, you not only get rid of the problem, you get to keep the wisdom. Now that you understand the basics of removing and replacing negative trances, let's get into the neurotap protocol so that you can learn how to apply this easy process.